Hello to all fellow handsome men. My name is Christian Parker. Welcome to our streaming tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to properly dress up for an interview. So, if you have an interview scheduled for next month, next week, or even tomorrow, do not panic. I'll help you get started with these following steps. Before you say a single word to the interviewer, you have already made an impression based on how you're dressed. This would be a bad example of how to dress for an interview, so you want to step up from what my current apparel is. The guidelines given here are commonly accepted as appropriate for interviewing. Every company has a different dress code, which is how you dress at the job, and you may have very little to do with how you dress for an interview. So now, the first step is to dress in a manner that is professionally appropriate for the position for which you are applying. In almost all cases, this means wearing a suit. It is rarely appropriate to dress down for an interview regardless of the company dress code policy. When in doubt, get conservative. Second step is you should wear a suit to the interview. Here is a suit jacket that is an example of a good thing to wear. And when you have, let's say you have a black jacket like this, you want the pants to match the suit so that you're not mismatching your colors and you look nice and professional. And now what usually goes good with a dark suit like this is a white shirt. Not like the same color as the one that I have on right now, but it will generally want to be a button down or something along those lines. And now, the third step is that your suit should be comfortable and fit you well so that you look and act your best. There's a difference between not yet feeling at case in a suit and trying to fit into the same suit you wore the last time from a date, wedding, or a funeral. Now, the fourth step is to avoid loud colors and flashy ties. In most interviews, most of the companies want you to dress in any dark color, black or white. Here's an example of some appropriate ties that you could wear for your interview. Nothing too flashy, nothing that'll catch someone's attention too much, but it's nice enough to make you look at your sharpest. Alrighty. Now, the fifth step is your clothing should be neat, clean, and pressed. If you don't have an iron, either buy one or be prepared to visit the dry cleaners often. Another option you could potentially do is hang it or put it in your bathroom and put the hot water on your shower and let it steam up, and that could decrease some of the wrinkles in your clothes as an alternative. Also, make sure you shower or bathe the morning of the interview. Wear deodorant. Don't wear cologne or aftershave. You don't want to smell overpowering, or even worse, cause an allergic reaction. Now, the sixth step is to make sure you have fresh breath. It's never a good idea to not brush your teeth before an interview, because that could be a very unpleasant experience for the person interviewing you. Brush your teeth before you leave for the interview, and do not eat directly before the interview. If you eat before the interview, make sure it's 1 to 2 hours beforehand. And also, do not smoke right before an interview. Otherwise, that would smell very nasty, and the last thing that an interview wants to smell is a smoky, smoky breath. And now, finally, your last step is to make sure that your hair is nice, neat, clean, and conservative. You don't want to go in with a very shaggy hairdo and make yourself look like a mess. You want to look very professional as you can in every single aspect, and show that you care about taking care of yourself. For all the steps that I give you, you'll be ready to go for your next interview. Now, there's another few etiquettes that you should follow when going in for an interview other than how to dress. You want to make sure you act very professional. You want to use professional terminology. You don't want to use slang words too much. You want to try to make yourself look not very nervous. You want to go in there very confident and be very confident and honest with all your skill sets and pretty much everything that you do. Make good eye contact with the person interviewing you. If you want to present, if you're going in for a multimedia technology job like me and all my other fellow students are going for, make sure you have a good sizzle reel ready to show so that you can impress your fellow interviewer and intrigue them into hiring you even more. And those are some good guidelines to follow while you're in the interview. If you're shaking, well, you shake their hand when you first introduce yourself to them. Make it a firm handshake. Leave no room for no confidence in any given circumstance whatsoever. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that you just want to remain as confident as you can. I'll tell a little bit about my experiences with how I got jobs. I pretty much made sure that, I made eye contact the entire time. If I was telling them my weaknesses, I didn't make the weaknesses sound too bad. I made it sound like I had something that I needed to work on, and I was aware of the weakness that I had to work on. And when I talked about my strengths, I was very confident about my strengths. I made sure they knew that I had a good skill set to bring to the table for their company. And I just made sure I made eye contact and had a good sizzle reel to go to give them, to show them all of my capabilities as soon as if I were to join their work company. And just made sure I was as friendly as I possibly could be, gave them a good solid resume, and made sure and also after you're done with the interview, you want to make sure that you send a thank you letter to them to tell them that you appreciate the fact that they took the time out of the day to interview you. And it also makes yourself look a little better and shows that you actually care for the job. And showing that you care for a job gives you a better chance of being hired for the company. Alrighty, that's all we have for today. Hopefully this brief segment helped you all out with learning how to be set up for an interview. My name is Christian Parker, and I will see y'all next time.